there's one. If that's a bass, that's a good bass. If that's not a bass, then I foul hook something. That's not pulling like a bass. That's pulling like a catfish. I think I caught a catfish. No, it's a bass. Alright, come on. Come on. Oh, it's a good bass. Alright, buddy. Get up here. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Yes, we are doing the intro in the car. Yes, because it's cold. It's I think 40 degrees out there right now or something crazy like that, which is cold for here. I know that's not cold for y'all up north that have ice on the water, or ice on the water. Yeah, technically ice on the water. So excitingly enough, I was out towards Cary yesterday. Well, it's actually in Garner, the closest Cabela's to here, and then we have some Bass Pro Shops. But I have been contemplating buying one of these for a long time. I know that the more popular one is the 100, but I picked up the 78 SP, which means suspended. It's a Lucky Craft Pointer 78 SP. Picked up that. It's a chartreuse shad is what I got the color in. The reason that I got the 78 is because right now here in North Carolina they're feeding primarily on shad. So I wanted to imitate a shad, and the shad aren't huge, so that would explain that lure choice there. But anyway, I'm gonna get out here and fish this, and yeah, hopefully we can catch a big one. Let's go. Alright, y'all, so that's weird. Usually there aren't geese down at this end. This is what the 78 looks like. It's a 3 1/8 inch jerkbait. This is a suspending one, and they have brass. Looks like they have brass and copper bearings in there. It's a Japanese bait, and it is 3/8 ounce, so it should cast pretty good. I'm throwing straight braid. Should make a difference today, not with as cold as it is. Not in the water that I fish here is pretty dingy. See if we can't catch some bass. Alright, y'all, so jerkbait, one of the reasons that a jerkbait is so popular is because you can fish it at just about any speed. You throw it out there. A suspending jerkbait's amazing. It does exactly what it says. It suspends in the water, and when you get it down to a certain depth, see, watch this. Well, this is why. Usually you fish fluorocarbon. This one's floating to the top, but fluoro is usually the better way to go. I just didn't feel like changing my line on this pole, to be honest. Plus, I can keep it where I want it just by doing little short twitches like that. But if you put fluoro on, fluoro sinks, whereas braid doesn't. Braid tends to float. That's why you use topwater with braid. One of the reasons. That, and it has like no stretch. But the jerkbait is really popular. You throw it down there, let it suspend, and then you can leave it sit there, and then as soon as you move it a little bit, yeah, because in the cold water the bass, well, any fish really, tends to slow down, but you can leave it sit there for a little bit, or a lot of bit, and then start working it again, and you get that reaction strike when the bass just can't take it anymore. That it's just like sitting there right in front of them, and then they're like, pow. Thought we'd have a hit by now, to be honest. It's cold, but honestly thought we'd have a hit by now. So the thing about winter jerkbait fishing too is I have used a jerkbait, whereas other people were throwing every single thing that they had when the weather was like this, where it's like kind of rainy and cold, and I've been the only one catching anything. I mean, I've had days where I've gone out and caught 50 fish, where somebody else has caught maybe one. It's definitely a go-to lure. And there are all kinds of different ones. I don't know why I just bought a Lucky Craft. I always said to myself, well, that's really, really expensive for a jerkbait, because they're about $16 for this particular one, the 78 SP. I'm not sure what they are in Tackle Warehouse, but I know at best Cabela's it was $15.99. But I have a Mega Bass Vision 110 that I paid 25 bucks for, so just seemed kind of silly not to buy this particular one. Alright, see, do y'all remember when we were fishing the chatterbait recently and I said that's a good sign? Same thing with the jerkbait. If you get a little weed on there, just a little bit of weeds. I mean, obviously you don't want it caked in the weeds, but if you're just get a little bit of weeds on there, that means that you're fishing it close enough to the top of the weeds. That's a good thing. Cold day like this, the bass are going to be using the weeds like a blanket. It's like a heating blanket for them. I don't know, y'all, this weather is really nasty today. I'm going to keep fishing, but I'm not entirely sure that they're going to be eating it all. It's kind of disgusting out right now. Super cold, and you got to remember these are southern strain. They don't like the cold too much. There's one. If that's a bass, that's a good bass. If that's not a bass, then I foul hook something. That's not pulling like a bass. That's pulling like a catfish. I think I caught a catfish. No, it's a bass. Alright, come on. Come on. Oh, it's a good bass. Alright, buddy. Get up here. That's just a good bass. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. That's a good 5-pounder. Alright. Look at that bass. That is a solid 5 right there. Look at her. Alright, baby. Goes. Yeah, so okay, so there, just to give you an idea, there's a break right here, and that wind is pushing, probably pushing bait fish this way, because the wind's coming from the north. Probably why it's so cold. But that wind is coming from the north. It's pushing bait down this way, but there's a break right here. This is kind of like a horseshoe. And then there are weeds on top of this shallow spot right here. And I casted right there, and she must have been waiting for bait fish and stuff to be coming down through there. That was just like 4 twitches and then nothing. See if she's got a friend out there. So that's the thing, y'all. They make jerk baits in all kinds of different sizes. Lucky Craft has one, I mentioned it earlier, that's the 100 SP. That one is a suspending, but it's I think it's like that much longer. I think it's like 4 inches and some. That one is the most popular Lucky Craft, I would say, but I have plenty of longer jerk baits. I wanted to throw one that was just a little bit smaller to kind of imitate the shad. I figured I would catch more that way. Just almost lost my lure right there. Those steaks are not coming out of the ground. That would suck. Alright y'all, so as you're fishing this, you don't have to, with the way that this lure is designed, you don't have to rip it real hard. See that lip right there? You do not have to rip it real hard. When you pull it, if you watch the water right in front of me here, make sure you can see that. Well, let's keep it in the water. Alright, so see, that's all the more I'm barely jerking that thing. And usually what I do is like I'll do kind of a jerk, pause, jerk, pause, jerk, pause. And then sometimes I'll throw in like a 3, like jerk, and then pause. And sometimes, now when the water got down into the 30s, I think that was the year before last or something like that, I was fishing this, and I was fishing a drop shot. And I was actually fishing a little bit smaller jerkbait than this, and I was leaving that thing sit. I was fishing fluorocarbon, leaving that thing sit for like, I'd say, I was counting, I think at one point I was counting to like 8 Mississippi, so about 8 seconds. But I mean, sometimes you have to leave that thing sit painfully long. And that's what, some people just don't have the patience for it. Alright y'all, so let me start by saying anytime that you catch a 5-pound bass, there's reason to get excited. So I'm really happy that I caught one today. Wasn't planning on, I honestly didn't think I would go out and catch anything with the way that the weather's been, let alone a 5-pounder. But yeah, that was really exciting. For a while I thought I had a catfish hook, because there's like a weird thing with catfish and jerkbaits with me. When I get a new one, go out and anyway, really happy with the pointer. I think I might actually get 100 as well. That one is going to be a go-to when I want to finesse, more of like a finesse jerkbait. That's going to definitely be a go-to. It imitates a shad perfectly. But yeah, it's picking up even more now. I got some grocery shopping to do for the week, and I'm getting ready to go do that. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed that. If you have any questions about jerkbait fishing, drop them down below and I'll make sure to answer. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure that you hit the like button if you like the video. Make sure you subscribe. That's a big thing. Most of my viewers are not subscribed, so if you could just hit the subscribe button, I would really appreciate that. We're sitting a little bit above 800 right now, and my goal by the end of this year is to be over 1,000. So if you could help me with that, I would really appreciate it. Make sure that you comment down below and I will answer, and if I don't, call me out on it. And that's it. I hope y'all really enjoyed the video. I will catch y'all next time. Take care.